Hello, everybody. Welcome to our session exploring Windows 11. We'll be getting started here very soon. Still letting a lot of people in from the waiting room. I imagine this is going to be a large group. So, oh yeah, we're already close to and past maybe 160 folks. All right. So hopefully nobody here has already taken their computer and smashed it to the ground or anything like that. We're going to be discussing how, not how to upgrade your Windows 10 PC to Windows 11, but we're going to go over some of the basic features of the new operating system. I will show you though where you can go to begin the upgrade or the update if you haven't done so already. Starting today, October 14th, Microsoft will no longer provide support. They will no longer provide support, software updates, or security fixes for Windows 10, which means that it is best to upgrade your PC to Windows 11. And what we're going to show you is just some of the basic features of the new operating system. We'll demonstrate how to use the start menu. You probably won't notice too many changes, but one area where you will is the start menu, where the start menu button is located for one thing, and how the start menu looks. And so we're going to go over things like pinning files and searching for files and different stuff like that. This is going to be a two-part session. So today is the first session. These sessions are being recorded. As you noticed when you came into class, you might have heard that audible notification letting you know that this session is being recorded. But the most important thing to remember is that after today, Windows 10 will no longer, Microsoft will no longer support, especially security fixes for Windows 10 computers. So if you're still running Windows 10, your computer can be vulnerable. It is, and also not only that, but you might not even be able to use some of the newer software that's out there, certain desktop apps and things that are only compatible with Windows 11. So let me share my screen, and I'm going to not only show you the handout, but we'll begin our program, begin discussing this new operating system. All right. Okay, so in a second, you should see my screen. So this is the handout, and I've already put the link to the handout. We'll share that with you again before class is over. Exploring the Windows Start menu. As I mentioned, this is mostly what we're going to be covering today. A lot of the changes to the new operating system have much to do with the Windows Start menu. Okay, I also want to share this resource page, this web page from the Microsoft.com website. And this tells you all about what you need to know. End of support for Windows 10, Windows 8, and Windows 7, but the update to Windows 11 is only, your Windows 10 PC has to be running the latest version of Windows 10. And Windows 10 came around, what was that, like 2004, I believe. So there could be a chance where you might be running an older version of Windows 10. So just take note that you do have to be running the latest version of Windows 10 in order to in order for your computer to be compatible with the update. So there's some information there as far as when Windows 10 will end and what will happen. You'll always see the Get Windows 11 button down here. And we'll show you another web page here in just a minute as we continue on. All right. There's lots of stuff that you can click on too. Like you can compare Windows 10 to Windows 11 and see some of the different features in a side-by-side comparison there. You can also compare Windows 11 Home versus Windows 11 Pro as well by clicking on that tab. All right. Okay, so I'll come back to sharing my screen in just a minute. But a couple of things that we want to mention is that, yes, we're not going to show you how to update from Windows 10 to Windows 11, plus many of you probably already have. And if you're here today, it's probably just to get to know and become a little more familiar with the Windows 11 operating system. So just to briefly mention the importance of the update, Windows 11 was originally released about 3 years ago in 2021. So it's not new. 2021, I think it was, about 4 years ago now. So it's not exactly new, but Microsoft is ending software updates and security fixes for Windows 10 starting today, October 14th. So technically, Windows 10 will still work on your device, on your PC, even if you don't upgrade to Windows 11, but your PC could become a lot more vulnerable because you'll be missing a lot of those, and you don't have security issues. You'll be missing a lot of those security fixes that come with the new update. So, it's entirely up to you, but we do highly recommend regular software updates because they are, considered an important part of keeping your computer secure. Additionally, as I mentioned earlier, there might be other software programs on your computer that will eventually become out of date because it will require Windows 11 or higher in order for those software programs to operate properly. So that might be another issue you run into without doing the update. Or you might not be able to use new software that is later developed and that is requiring the Windows 11 operating system. Okay. All right, so when it comes to understanding compatibility with Windows 11, your PC, as I mentioned, must be running Windows 10 version 2004 or later to upgrade to Windows 11. Now, many of you might be asking, well, how do I know for sure if my computer is compatible with the update? We're going to show you where you can go to find that out. There are also some security features that the PC must have enabled to be compatible. So some Windows 10 PCs may not be compatible if those security features are not enabled. Okay. Microsoft website lists the compatibility requirements, and I'm going to share with you that page. So let me share my screen one more time. This web link, and I'll be putting, or this web page, and I'll be putting the link into the chat room. Give me a second to do that. That way you have it there on your end and you can explore more on your own. But this one has the Windows 11 specs, features, and computer requirements, okay? So there's some different tabs you can click on, or you can just scroll through the web page, find out more, like about system requirements, unique Copilot plus PC features that come with the Windows 11. You'll get some information on that. We'll talk more about that next week. Here are some more info on the Windows 11 features. And if you scroll or begin at the top of the web page, here is an app that you can sort of download to your PC, this Microsoft's PC Health Check app. So once you click on this, that's where you'll be able to go to find out if your PC is compatible with the update. Okay, it'll download. Like let me just demonstrate. It'll click on it and it'll download download Windows PC Health Check Setup. Okay, you just then open the file. My PC has already been upgraded, right? So no need for me to do all that, but that's what you would do if you're still running the Windows 10 operating system. And then, of course, you can also call the Hotline Center or Senior Planet Tech Support Hotline if you have any questions. They, too, can help you walk through the steps. And I've learned that many of our students have done so and have been helped thoroughly by the hotline agents to run this update. However, if you're not in the market for a new computer, okay, there may be another option. If you're not ready to buy a new PC, Microsoft is offering a 1 year of extended security updates, okay, for Windows 10. Your PC, though, must be running the latest version of Windows 10 in order for you to apply this extended service. Okay, you must also be signed into your Microsoft account, not just signed into your PC, but signed into a Microsoft account in order for this to work. So otherwise, you can get the 1 year extension for a one-time payment of $30. And I recently learned in our Lunch and Learn class just a little while ago that Microsoft offers you points for different things, different Microsoft products that you might have bought. Somebody mentioned if you play an Xbox game, I think it was, on your PC, that you can earn points that way as well. It's a few different ways. And then with those points can then be applied to that $30, that one-time $30 fee for that 1 year extension. Now, remember, this is the option if your PC is not compatible with the free upgrade to Windows 11. And if you are not in the market to buy a new computer, you can go this route. Now, there may not be a whole lot that you notice different, except for the start menu button. It's now located more like in the middle of the screen. I'll show you here in just a second, as opposed to how it was located in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen when you were using Windows 10. And the layout looks a little different as well. So I'm going to share my screen again, and I will show you. I'm going to open up I'm using Microsoft Edge. So I'm going to use a new browser window. Okay. So again, this PC I'm using right now is already running Windows 11. And you'll notice that down here along my toolbar is the start menu button. Now it's kind of been pushed a little bit more centered of the bottom of the screen as opposed to it being in the corner like it was before. All right. Click the start menu button and your start menu will pop open like you see here. Okay. Now I'm going to point out and explain some of the pinned apps. The pinned apps, Windows has some default pinned apps, but you can always change them. If you want to add more apps to this pinned section of your start menu window, you can always click on all. All right, and that'll give you sort of an alphabetical list of all the apps you have on here. You can click back to get to your pinned section. But let me show you how you can pin an app. All right. So I'm going to click on all, and I'm going to select a pin I don't already, an app I don't already have pinned. Okay. Like, for instance, all right, let me just do my calculator. Let's say I use the calculator app a lot on my computer. So I want to pin it. That way, every time I click on the start menu, I'll see it there. So to do so, you just simply right click and then select pin to start. Okay. If you click more or hover your mouse over more, you can also pin this to your taskbar. Pin to start will pin it to your start menu. Pin to taskbar will pin it down to the taskbar you see down below with all those other apps I have. Okay. In this case, I'm just going to click on the pin to start. And then, of course, you see the uninstall button as well. It's an option. Now that I've pinned the calculator, I'm going to go back, and there's my calculator there. Okay. All right. Now, you can also change the order. You can move pinned apps in the start menu. You can click, drag, and drop to change the order of the apps. Sometimes, let's say you have, so to do that, just, click and drag and just kind of change the order like that. Let's say you want your calculator app. Let's say I want my settings. Oops, I don't want to open up the calculator. Let me go back to my start menu. Let's say I want the settings app over here between right after my file explorer. And so, you could move and customize your pinned apps that way. Now you can also right click an app and choose bring to front, which makes it appear first on the list, like you see my file explorer. But let's say I am using my Word app a lot, so I'm going to right click on that. And here, right is, let me do that again. So right click on that. And the first option you'll see is move to front. Click there and it automatically moves it to the front. So you can do it like that, or just, click and drag and move those around that way. Now, there's another thing you can do for organization and for finding, apps easier. You can put apps in folders, even some of the pinned apps that you have here. All right. So for instance, let's say that I wanted to put my Microsoft Excel, PowerPoint, and OneNote all together in one app, okay? Or one folder, I should say. So I would take one of the apps and sort of just layer it on top of the other, let go, and now it's put that into a folder. Let's do that one more time with the PowerPoint app. Take that and layer it right above that folder, and it gets dropped in there. So the next thing you could do is click on that folder, and you can edit the name, okay? I'm gonna edit this, I don't know, title it, Microsoft Tools, whatever you like to. Click enter on your keyboard, and you now have named that folder. Okay, so if you go back, just kind of click outside of that folder somewhere to get back to the pin section of your start menu. Okay, now the recommended section that you see in the start menu right here This in the start menu, if you scroll down to this recommended section, you can click on more to see more. These are basically just based on recently opened apps, recently opened files, etc. Okay. They may also be things that you open often, right? So just click on more to see what else is there. And right now I just have a few listed here. Okay. So if you're ever looking for a file that you use a lot, you might be able to easily find it in the recommended section here, like I'm looking. Okay. Click back to get back to your start menu. Now we're going to talk about how to use the search bar inside of the start menu, okay? As opposed to the search bar you see down here amongst your toolbar, all right? So the search bar is usually located at the top of your start menu. And it's a little confusing because it changes the view of the start menu. Once you click inside of it to start searching for an app or a file, it changes the view. Let me demonstrate. So if I click inside this search bar, now the start menu looks a little different, right? It's got some quick searches over here on the right, top apps, suggested searches down the left-hand side here. Okay. So usually when you start a search, like let's say I'm going to look for, oh gosh, I don't know, PowerPoint. As you enter your search terms, it gives you your best match. Usually the results that you see at the top, okay, are things that you have on your computer, usually at the top of the list. All right. Everything at the bottom is internet results, right? So right underneath where it says search web, you'll see different internet search results, right? You can click on any one of these results like so. It'll open up in another tab or window. In this case, it's using Bing as my search engine, and it's giving me some results of the search that I did from within the start menu. So it's kind of a quick way to get some web search results. Okay, but let's go back to our start menu. I'm going to click in the search again, and here it's now showing my recent search in PowerPoint. Okay, so if I type in PowerPoint, remember that the top of the list is usually what you have on your computer, so you can click there to get to the PowerPoint app on your computer. There it is. And this is sort of like your PowerPoint homepage, right? All right, so let me exit out of that real quick. Okay, back to a blank browser page. All right. So it's the search function, the search bar may look a little confusing. Don't be, worried that, hey, like, where did I go? What happened here? Why does everything look different? To get back to your start menu from this search window, if you will, all you got to do is just kind of, there is no back button, we noticed, so kind of just click outside of that start menu and just open up the start menu again. It'll go back and revert back to this start menu layout. All right. Okay. And again, the handout that we shared with you earlier, which I believe, let me close my window, has everything nicely labeled and numbered. So 1 is pointing to the search bar, number 2 is pointing to your pinned apps, number 3 is pointing to your recommended apps, and it tells you exactly what each of these things do. 4 points to all your apps. You can click on to get an alphabetical list of all the apps and add apps to your start menu. And then 5 is, of course, the power button. So let me open up my start menu again. And yeah, the power button is here. That's where you would want to, locks your computer. You can put it to sleep, shut it down, or restart it. So these are just a few things that look a little different, right? Compared to how Windows 10 was laid out. But take a look at this. Now we're going to use the search bar in the taskbar at the bottom of the desktop screen, okay? Right in here. I'm going to do the same search as I did in the start menu search bar. So I'm going to tap in this search bubble. You'll see this pop open. And in that search bubble down here, I'm going to type in Let's just type in PowerPoint again. Okay. And so now this bar, it also searches the internet and your computer, but the internet results are at the top this time, okay? You still have the best match, and we could try something different just to show you an example. So let's see. I'm gonna, oh, what can I search for? I don't know. I'm trying to think of the name of a document that I have that I could, let me try this. Duolingo. Yeah, okay. So the best match is like usually on the top. If I were to click on this result, it probably will take me to the Duolingo website like it is right now, or a web search for Duolingo, okay? Excuse me, but let me go back to that desktop page. If I do a search from my taskbar, again, Duolingo, doing a search this way shows you, well, earlier it showed me the web results at the top and then whatever's on my PC down below. Now it's showing me, this is what I was looking for, actually, this one-page PDF file, which is a handout for our Duolingo class. And so, yeah, you can search for files or for, folders or for apps on your computer using either search bar. But when you use the search bar at the top of your start menu, all right, your results will be whatever is found on your computer pertaining to those search terms at the top of the list. And then at the bottom of the list, like you saw, your results, those results will be web results. When you use the search bar at the bottom of your toolbar, next to the start menu, it's kind of the opposite. Your search results at the top will be web search results, and then the search results at the bottom will be whatever you have on your computer that has something to do with those key terms. Okay. All right, so that's another little feature that we wanted to explore. I'm going to open up the File Explorer in the taskbar at the bottom of the desktop. So if you open that little manila folder, it'll take you to this page, okay? Not much is different. And sometimes, if you have this page sort of minimized, it might look like this. I like to have mine extended, but, sometimes you might see your File Explorer window a little smaller like that, right? And of course, to expand it, you just click on the little box up here next to the X in the upper right-hand corner to expand it. But yeah, not much has changed. You still have your menu items right over here. Some of the different places you can go to find files, like your gallery or perhaps documents or pictures and so on. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to right-click. Let me go to documents first. I'm going to right-click on a folder, or I could also right-click on a file or an app to show the different pinning options. Okay, so you can always go to your File Explorer, and let's say I wanted to pin this folder that has a few old success stories that I wrote. I'm going to right-click on it, and you'll see some options. Pin to quick access right here. Excuse me. Pin to quick access will pin it to that start menu. Okay. Sort of where you have those other pinned apps. Pin to start, or actually pin to start, will pin it there to your start window. Pin to quick access will pin it down to your toolbar. Okay, so if I click that, oops, let me right click on that again. I pinned it to the start. So now if I click on my start menu, there's the success stories folder. Okay, excuse me, folks, sorry about that. Pin to quick access pins it to the left side of the File Explorer, which, is that quick access menu I showed you earlier when you open up your File Explorer. Okay. Now, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. There's a few things that we want to mention, like for instance, well, before I stop sharing my screen, I want to put this resource, if we haven't already. This is to our AT&T Connected Resources page. And from this resources page, you will be able to there's like little on-demand courses you can take at a beginner level. Let me show you really quick. I know we're over time, but there's one course you can take, and when you click on any one of these courses, it'll open up to the AT&T website. And for instance, we have using a PC based off of the Windows 11 update. So this has 7 different activities at a beginner level. Total time is about 27 minutes. These are on-demand courses, so you don't have to attend a live class to take these. You can take them at any time on your own time. What is Windows 11? Working from the desktop, files and folders, working with Windows, saving and closing and deleting files, and some practice, little practice sessions. So, and remember, if you have any other questions, please do give our hotline a call. They'll be able to help you, go through the steps of updating from Windows 10 to Windows 11 if you need that still. You need that help. And yeah, other than that, thank you very, very much for attending today, folks. All right. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. And if I don't see you in class again, well, hopefully I will. If I don't see you later today, I'll see you tomorrow.